In the beginning, before the concept of beginning existed, there was only none. A boundless, swirling abyss of dark, watery chaos, an infinite ocean of potentiality stretching into eternity. No sun ignited its depths, no moon cast its pale silver upon its surface, for there was no surface, no sky, no earth, no form. It was the primordial, unfathomable void, pregnant with all that would ever be, yet utterly devoid of being. Sounds, if they could exist in such a realm, would have been the endless, soft lapping of nascent currents, the whisper of unborn possibility, a silent hum of infinite patience. Within this fluid, formless expanse lay the seeds of creation, dormant, waiting for the spark that would awaken order from chaos, light from eternal darkness, and bring forth the gods who would shape the cosmos. Time itself lay dreaming, unchained by dawn or dusk, an unending slumber in the heart of none. Then from the heart of none, a singular consciousness stirred. It was Autumn, the self-created one who arose from the primeval waters, bringing forth existence by sheer force of will. He was solitary, magnificent, and alone in the vastness. With a thought, he manifested a mound of earth, the Benben stone, the first solid ground, rising like a sacred island from the swirling depths. Standing upon it, Autumn sought companionship, sought to imbue the void with life. He spoke, and his words vibrated through the emptiness, becoming reality. He breathed, and from his very breath, Shu, the god of air, the sustainer of life, came into being. Shu was the dry air, the space that would eventually separate all things, the gentle breeze and the mighty tempest. Autumn then spat, and from this divine spittle Tefnut, the goddess of moisture, of rain and dew, of life-giving water, was born. Shu and Tefnut, the twin principles of air and moisture, were the first divine couple, their essence intertwined, yet distinct. They brought movement and sustenance to the burgeoning cosmos, their forms shimmering like heat haze and morning mist, preparing the canvas for the next phase of creation, the generation of the very fabric of existence. From Shu, the dry air, and Tefnut, the life-giving moisture, sprang forth two more deities, born of their sacred union. Geb, the sturdy god of the earth, and Nut, the luminous goddess of the sky. They arrived not as infants mewling into the world, but as fully formed beings, colossal and magnificent, their forms reflecting the vastness of their domains. From the very instant of their genesis, they were inseparable. Nut, with skin like the deepest indigo firmament, studded with the nascent glimmers of stars, lay pressed against Geb, whose body was the rich, fertile soil, verdant with unborn life. Their embrace was absolute, a perfect, unwavering communion. There was no space between them, no breath, no light, no division. Nut's belly arched over Geb's back, her face tenderly close to his. Their limbs entwined like the roots of ancient trees and the branches of the heavens, forming a singular, colossal entity. In their unified form, they were the world, complete and whole, a seamless tapestry of land and sky, bound in an eternal, tender embrace that knew no end, only perpetual, blissful closeness. The love between Geb and Nut was not merely an affection. It was the very essence of their being, the fundamental state of the nascent cosmos. In their boundless, intertwined form, there was no day, no night, no sunrise, no sunset. There was only the eternal twilight of their inseparable embrace. Nut's starry skin was not yet a vault above. It was the soft, cool blanket against Geb's warm, fertile earth. Her breath mingled with his, creating the first, gentle breezes that stirred across their shared surface. From their touch, new life stirred within Geb's vast body. The first mountains began to ripple from his mighty spine. The first valleys cradled in the hollows of his form. Nut's tears of joy, shed in their blissful union, watered these nascent landscapes, nourishing the seeds of what would one day become forests and rivers. But this sublime unity, while an expression of profound love, also presented a paradox. In their perfect closeness, there was no room for the world to truly unfold. No space for light to pierce, no horizon to beckon, no stage for the unfolding drama of creation. Their embrace, while the source of all potential, was also a beautiful, living cage, preventing the greater cosmic order from taking its destined form, forever binding the nascent universe in their passionate, unyielding hold. As Geb and Nut continued their profound, unbroken embrace, a silent disquiet began to ripple through the burgeoning cosmos. Ra, the magnificent sun god, who had emerged from Nun and given life to Shu and Tefnut, observed from his vantage point, a place of pure, blinding light that hovered just beyond the intertwined forms of his grandchildren. He saw the beauty of their love, the potent energy of their union, but he also perceived the profound imbalance it created. Mad, the cosmic principle of truth, order, balance, and justice, lay dormant, suppressed by their absolute closeness. There was no space for the sun to journey, no path for the moon to traverse, no canvas for the stars to truly blaze. The world was a beautiful but stagnant sculpture, choked by its own genesis. The potential for diverse life, for the cycle of birth and death, for the very rhythm of existence, lay unfulfilled. Without separation, there could be no true light and shadow, no defined day and night, no vast expanse for creation to flourish. Ra felt the subtle tremor of Mad's yearning for equilibrium, a gentle but insistent call for the order that must precede the true unfolding of the universe. From his brilliant perch, Ra's golden gaze, which had birthed the first light, now fell upon the colossal, intertwined forms of Geb and Nut with a growing unease. His radiant essence, usually a source of warmth and gentle illumination, now pulsed with a focused intensity, a quiet but firm disapproval. He saw the nascent glimmers of stars trapped within Nut's embrace, unable to truly shine, unable to guide. He felt the fertile promise of Geb's body, rich with life, yet forever shaded, unable to fully receive the life-giving warmth of the sun. The universe in its current state was a paradox, overflowing with potential, yet stifled by its own intimate beginning. The very essence of Mad, the fundamental order that Ra championed, demanded separation, balance, and a clear path for creation to manifest. The sun could not set if there was no sky to descend into, nor could it rise if there was no earth to awaken. Ra knew that for the cosmos to truly live, to breathe, to flourish in the magnificent diversity he envisioned, the primordial embrace, however tender, must be sundered. The moment of decision was dawning, and the weight of cosmic responsibility pressed upon the radiant god. Recognizing the escalating urgency, Ra summoned Shu, the god of air, and Tefnut, the goddess of moisture, his firstborn children, to his radiant presence. They approached their father with reverence, their forms shimmering with the essence of the elements they embodied. "My children," Ra's voice boomed, not with anger but with the gravitas of cosmic law, "observe the world, or rather, what is meant to be the world. Your offspring, Geb and Nut, remain locked in an embrace that, while born of love, obstructs the very flow of existence. There is no space, no sky, no distinct earth. Mat, the order I have set into motion, cannot take root." Shu, ever the silent and observant, listened intently, his airy form still. Tefnut, with her gentle mist, spoke softly, "Father, their love is boundless. To separate them, it would be a sorrowful task." Ra's light intensified. Sorrowful, perhaps, but necessary. Without separation, there is no place for the sun to travel, no stage for the stars to dance, no ground for life to walk upon. How can day follow night if they are forever one? How can the seasons turn if there is no space for the elements to interact? He paused, his gaze fixed on Shu. It is your domain, Shu, to create space, to breathe life into the void. It falls to you, the air, to create the heavens and the earth, to establish the very breath between them. The decree was not a request. It was a cosmic imperative, resonating through the nascent fabric of reality. Shu's airy form seemed to grow heavier under the weight of Ra's pronouncement. He loved his children, Geb and Nut, as deeply as any parent could. He remembered their birth, the immediate, powerful bond that had formed between them. To tear them apart felt like an act against nature, a violation of their pure, primordial love. Yet, Ra's words resonated with an undeniable truth, a truth that transcended personal affection. Ma'at, the immutable cosmic law, was not about individual happiness alone, but about the harmonious functioning of the entire universe. Father, Shu finally spoke, his voice a gentle rustle of wind. I understand the necessity. Without separation, there is no cosmos, only an eternal, undivided embrace. But their sorrow will be immense. Ra's radiant form softened slightly. Indeed, great sorrow will attend this act, my son. But from that sorrow, new life shall spring, and a grander order shall emerge. The sky must be a canopy, the earth a foundation. You, Shu, will be the eternal space between them, the breath that allows all things to exist, the pillar that holds the heavens aloft. It is a sacred duty, a burden of creation, but one that will allow Ma'at to flourish, bringing forth the cycles of time, the dance of life and death, and the myriad forms of existence. Go forth, my son, and fulfill your destiny. Establish the structure upon which all else shall be built. The words hung in the air, a solemn charge, preparing Shu for the profound and heartbreaking task that lay ahead. The decree, once spoken by Ra, reverberated through the nascent universe, an immutable command that pierced the blissful slumber of Geb and Nut. Shu, laden with the profound weight of his task, approached his children. His airy form, usually so light and ethereal, now carried the heavy burden of cosmic law and a father's reluctance. The ethereal light of Ra, though distant, cast long, shimmering shadows as Shu moved, signaling the dawn of a new, albeit painful, era. Geb and Nut lay as they had since birth, entwined in an embrace so perfect it defied definition. Nut's starry belly pressed against Jeb's fertile back, their limbs locked, their faces soft in shared serenity. The world was still them, a single, magnificent entity. Shu paused, his heart aching with the impending sorrow, yet resolute in his duty to Ma'at. He knew this act, though cruel in its immediate impact, was the genesis of all things, the very breath of creation. The moment had arrived. The universe could no longer wait for its beginning. Shu stood before his children, a profound internal conflict swirling within his airy essence. The love for Geb, the grounding earth, and Nut, the expansive sky, warred with the imperative of Ra, the cosmic demand for order. He saw the tender curve of Nut's back, a universe of stars yet to be fully seen, and the strong, steadfast form of Geb, pregnant with mountains and rivers yet to be born. To tear them apart felt like tearing his own being, a violent act against the very essence of familial love. Yet, he also perceived the stifled potential, the universe holding its breath, waiting for space to unfold. He understood that his children in their innocence had unwittingly become a beautiful barrier. He took a deep breath, the very act a prophecy of the space he was about to create. This breath was not merely air. It was the will of Ma'at, the force of creation, the sorrow of a father, and the resolve of a god. He extended his mighty arms, shimmering with the ethereal energy of the cosmos. "My beloved children," his voice, a mournful whisper of wind carried through their unified form, "the time of separation is upon us. For the cosmos to live, for mad to reign, you must be sundered." His words, gentle yet firm, were the first hint of the imminent rupture, stirring a tremor of unease in the sleeping giants, a prelude to the vast chasm that would soon divide them. A ripple passed through Geb and Nut's joined bodies as Shu's words reached them, disturbing their eternal slumber. Their eyes, like deep pools reflecting the nascent cosmos, fluttered open, registering first confusion, then a dawning horror. They saw their father Shu standing above them, his form radiating an unfamiliar resolve, his arms already beginning to extend. "Father, no!" Nut cried, her voice a celestial bell, echoing in the confined space. "Do not separate us. We are one, always have been." Geb, feeling the subtle pressure of Shu's intent, echoed her plea. "We cannot be apart. Our love is the world. To tear us asunder is to destroy all." His voice rumbled deep like an earthquake, a nascent groan of protest from the earth itself. But Shu, his face etched with sorrow, merely shook his head. "It is Ra's command. It is the will of man. For the sun to rise, for the stars to shine, for life to truly bloom, there must be space. There must be a sky above and an earth below." With these words, Shu placed his immense hands beneath Nut's arched back, feeling the cosmic weight of her starry form. He pressed down firmly on Geb's body, anchoring him. Then, with a mournful sigh that echoed as the first gust of wind, Shu began to push. It was not a violent shove, but a steady, inexorable force, the power of creation itself beginning to unfold, to wrench apart the primordial unity. With a groan that ripped through the very fabric of nascent existence, Nut felt the immense, unyielding force of her father, Shu, pushing against her. Her body, once perfectly conjoined with Geb's, now began to resist, straining against the separation. Her celestial skin, a deep, star-dusted indigo, arched higher, slowly, agonizingly, tearing away from the fertile green of Geb's form. A wail, profound and sorrowful, tore from Nut's lips, echoing into the vast emptiness that was slowly forming beneath her. It was the birth cry of the sky, a lament for lost intimacy. Geb, pinned by the same inexorable force, reached out to her, his immense hands scrabbling for purchase, desperate to cling to his beloved. "Nut, my love, do not leave me," his voice, a deep, resonant tremor, pleaded. But the gap between them widened, centimeter by agonizing centimeter. Nut's feet, once resting gently on Geb's chest, were now rising above him. Her arms, which had cradled his head, stretched upwards, reaching for what was no longer there. The light from Ra, once merely a distant glow, now pierced the nascent chasm, illuminating the pain of their sundering. As Nut was lifted higher and higher, her body began to curve, forming the majestic, ethereal dome of the heavens, a permanent arch over the world that was beginning to take shape below. The stars that speckled her form, once latent, now began to truly glow, her tears of anguish already beginning to form the first distant constellations. As Nut's starry form was slowly, agonizingly lifted higher and higher, Geb felt the immense weight of his new reality pressing down upon him. Shu's other hand, equally firm, held him in place, anchoring him, forcing his vast body to flatten and spread, to become the solid foundation of the world. His muscles, once supple in Nut's embrace, now hardened into rock and mountain ranges, his size shaping the first valleys and canyons. He clawed at the ground, not to escape, but in an instinctual, futile gesture to hold onto his disappearing love. His heart, once intertwined with Nut's, now beat deep within the earth, its tremors felt as the first earthquakes, his profound sorrow creating the vast, silent chasms in the nascent land. "Nut!" he bellowed, his voice echoing up into the ever-widening void, a roar of anguish from the very core of the world. He watched her ascend, her form curving into an impossibly high arch, her celestial beauty now a distant, aching memory against the canvas of the forming sky. He stretched his arms towards her, but they only sank into the burgeoning earth, becoming the deep roots of towering trees, their branches reaching in an eternal, yearning gesture upwards. The ground beneath him, once soft with shared warmth, solidified, becoming the unwavering bedrock upon which all future life would stand. The separation was complete, not in an instant, but in a prolonged, agonizing unfolding, leaving Geb as the steadfast, fertile, yet profoundly lonely, foundation of the world. The separation was complete, yet the bond between Geb and Nut, though sundered, remained. Nut, now the vast, arched firmament, watched her beloved Geb far below, forever separated by the expanse of Shu. Her grief was immense, a cosmic sorrow that knew no bounds. Her tears, unlike human tears, were not fleeting drops. Each glistening tear that fell from her celestial eyes transformed as it descended, becoming the countless, shimmering stars that now adorned her body, forming constellations that wept across the night sky. And when her sorrow grew overwhelming, these tears would gather, condensing into soft, life-giving rain that gently fell upon Geb, a mournful caress from above, nourishing the very earth that was his form. Geb, in turn, lay as the expansive, fertile earth, his own anguish mirroring the heavens above. His sorrow, too profound for mere tears, manifested as deep, flowing rivers that carved their way across his body. From his weeping heart, the mighty Nile began its eternal journey, winding like a silvery serpent across his verdant skin, a constant reminder of the separation, yet also a source of enduring life. The Nile was Geb's tears, a physical manifestation of his longing for Nut, flowing relentlessly, silently, yet nourishing the burgeoning life upon his surface, connecting him eternally to the cycles of sustenance and grief. Their tears, transformed, became the very arteries and veins of the young universe, binding them in a new, poignant embrace of life and sorrow. Between the weeping sky and the grieving earth stood Shu, the god of air, forever poised, his mighty arms outstretched. He was not merely a passive separator. He was the active space, the eternal breath, the very atmosphere that allowed existence to unfold. His form, once airy and ephemeral, now bore the immense, constant weight of Nut's celestial body, preventing her from ever again collapsing upon Geb. He was the cosmic pillar, the unwavering support, the invisible yet omnipresent force that maintained the delicate balance. His posture was one of perpetual strain, a silent testament to the colossal task he bore. Yet it was also one of profound purpose. Without Shu, there would be no realm for Ra's sun barge to sail, no space for the moon to traverse, no medium for the winds to blow, no air for creatures to breathe. He was the life-giver through separation, the one who made the universe possible by holding its two greatest components apart. His essence filled the vast chasm, connecting sky and earth, carrying Nut's rain to Geb, and Jeb's fragrances up to Nut. He was the eternal breath, the silent witness to their sorrow, and the stoic guarantor of Ma'at's order, his arms forever strained, his being forever stretched, maintaining the sacred distance. Now arched high above, her body stretching across the entire expanse, Nut, the goddess of the sky, felt an unbearable ache in her heart. Her starry form, once a soft blanket, was now a vast, cold expanse, forever separated from the warmth of Geb. She saw his verdant form below, the rivers that were his tears, the mountains that were his hardened body, and a profound lament escaped her lips, a sound that resonated through the newly formed atmosphere, a celestial dirge. "Oh, my Geb," she cried, her voice a distant, mournful whisper carried on Shu's gentle winds. "How can I bear this solitude? My body is stretched, my soul torn asunder from yours. I see you, yet I cannot touch you. I feel your sorrow, yet I cannot comfort you." Her tears flowed more freely then, glittering and falling as meteors, as shooting stars, streaking across her dark, beautiful expanse, each a poignant symbol of her unending grief. Yet even in her despair, a fierce, maternal instinct stirred within her. She was to be the mother of the stars, the mother of the sun and moon, and the mother of all life that would spring from Geb. "Though I cannot hold you, my beloved," she vowed, her voice gaining a new strength, "I shall watch over our children. I shall protect them with my vastness. My tears shall nourish them, my embrace shall be the night, and I shall gather them back into my body when their earthly journeys are complete, to hold them safe until the dawn of new life." And so, Nut, the sky, became both a symbol of infinite sorrow and eternal protection. Below, firmly anchored as the vast and fertile earth, Geb lay in profound sorrow, his body a sprawling canvas of verdant plains, towering mountains, and deep, silent valleys. He looked up, his gaze stretching across the impossible distance Shu had created, to where Nut, his beloved, now arced high above him, a glittering expanse of stars and aching beauty. His heart, the very core of the earth, throbbed with an unceasing ache, a silent earthquake of longing. "Nut," he rumbled, his voice a deep, resonant sigh that rustled through the nascent forests and whispered across the emerging deserts. "My love, my sky, how am I to endure without your warmth, without your tender touch? My body is a prison of stone and soil, fertile yet so empty without you beside me." His tears, the mighty Nile and its tributaries, continued to flow, carving deeper channels into his form, a constant physical manifestation of his unending grief. He felt the weight of the new responsibility placed upon him, to be the foundation, the source of sustenance for all life. Though separated, his essence was eternally bound to hers. He was the silent, steadfast receiver of her nourishing rains, the bedrock upon which her celestial children, the sun and moon, would rise and set. Even in his anguish, a quiet understanding began to settle. His sorrow was now the rich soil, his longing the deep wellsprings, his steadfastness the very stability that would allow life to flourish. He was the patient earth, eternally yearning, eternally providing, holding the memory of their embrace in every grain of sand and every mighty stone. As the cosmos settled into its new, sorrowful, yet orderly configuration, Thoth, the ibis-headed god of wisdom, knowledge, and writing, emerged from the shadows of newly formed reality. He approached Geb and Nut, his gaze compassionate, his words imbued with the profound understanding of cosmic law. "Behold, Geb and you, Nut," Thoth's voice was clear and resonant, like the chime of ancient bells. "The universe now has shape. Your separation, though grievous, was not an end, but a beginning. From your boundless love and from this painful sundering will spring forth the very essence of existence." He spoke of their children, who were yet to be born, children conceived in the brief, stolen moments before their final separation, or imbued into the very fabric of their beings. From you, Nut, will come the mighty Osiris, the lord of rebirth, and Isis, the mistress of magic. You will birth Seth, the tempestuous, and Nephthys, the compassionate. And from these will come all life, all kings and queens, all mortals who walk upon Geb's fertile lands. Thoth then spoke of the cycles. Your tears, Nut, shall be the rain that nourishes Geb, and Geb's bounty shall rise to meet your sky. From your union, now abstract, shall come the eternal dance of life and death. You, Nut, shall receive the deceased into your starry embrace, guiding them through the night, only for them to be reborn from Geb's soil. This is the ultimate balance, the grand design of man. Your sorrow is the seed of future joy, your separation the forge of eternal renewal. Your love endures, transformed into the very rhythm of the cosmos. His words were a balm, offering profound meaning to their agonizing sacrifice, weaving their personal tragedy into the glorious tapestry of universal order. The act of separation, the forced parting of Geb and Nut by Shu, not only created space but fundamentally birthed time itself. Before, in their unbroken embrace, there was only an eternal, unchanging present, a twilight without end. Now, with Nut arched high above and Geb spread out below, a path was created, a grand highway for the celestial travelers. Ra, the sun god who had before hovered impatiently, could now begin his daily journey. As his radiant barge sailed across Nut's vast, star-dusted belly, from one horizon to the other, the concept of day dawned upon the nascent world. With Ra's departure each evening, as he descended into the hidden realms beneath Geb's horizon, a new state emerged. Night, Nut's starry form, no longer merely a backdrop, truly glittered in the absence of Ra's overpowering light. The moon, born from the same primordial essence, began its own rhythmic dance across the night sky, marking out weeks and months. The constant, predictable procession of Ra across Nut's body, followed by the gentle glow of the moon, established the fundamental cycles of existence. The relentless march of moments, the progression of hours, the rhythm of sunrise and sunset. Time, once a formless dream in none, had now awakened, an intricate dance between the separated sky and earth, eternally measured by the celestial ballet above and the steadfastness below. The separation, though born of sorrow, forged a profound and eternal interdependence between Geb and Nut, giving rise to the beautiful, cyclical ballet of the seasons. Nut, the celestial sky, in her grief and her enduring love, continued to weep. Her tears, no longer mere symbols, became the life-giving rains and gentle dews that fell from her arching form. These waters descended through Shu, the airy space between, nourishing Geb, the fertile earth. When Nut's tears were abundant, when her sorrow was deepest and her clouds heavy with moisture, Geb's land responded with lush greenery, with bursting buds and overflowing rivers, the season of flourishing and growth. Conversely, when Nut's celestial body grew less abundant with rain, when the sun's journey across her back became more direct and intense, Geb's surface would dry, his crops would wither, his rivers recede. This was a period of rest, a time of quietude for the earth, preparing for the renewed embrace of Nut's moisture. The very interplay of their distant connection, Nut's giving waters, Geb's receiving lands, sculpted the world into distinct periods of growth, harvest, and dormancy. The seasons became a cosmic breath, a living testament to their enduring, though distant, interaction, a profound reminder that even in separation, their essences were forever intertwined, vital to the world's ongoing cycle of life and renewal. Every morning, with a burst of blinding light, Ra, the magnificent sun god, would emerge from the eastern horizon of Geb, ascending into the vast expanse of Nut's sky body. His solar barge, a vessel of pure radiance, would then begin its majestic journey across her arched form. This was the cosmic procession, the daily manifestation of life and light. As Ra traversed Nut's body, his golden rays would kiss the sleeping earth, waking the creatures upon Geb's surface, warming the soil, igniting the vibrant hues of dawn. The world would stir, plants would reach towards his light, and the daily rhythms of existence would commence. Throughout the day, Ra's passage across Nut was a symbol of her protective embrace, her body serving as his eternal pathway. She held him, guided him, and allowed his warmth to reach Geb. As evening approached, Ra would begin his descent towards the western horizon, gradually dimming his fiery brilliance, painting the sky in hues of orange, purple, and crimson. This was not an end, but a transition. He would then journey through the hidden, nocturnal realms beneath Geb, battling the forces of chaos and darkness, only to be reborn each morning from Nut's embrace in the east. This eternal journey, Ra's majestic passage across Nut's body, became the very heartbeat of time, the grand, visible testament to the ordered universe, a continuous cycle of life, death, and triumphant renewal. From the fertile plains of Geb, nurtured by the celestial rains of Nut and warmed by the daily passage of Ra, sprang forth all manner of life. Mortal beings, creatures great and small, flora in a myriad of forms, emerged from the earth, drawing sustenance from Geb's rich soil and the waters that flowed across his surface. They lived their allotted spans under Nut's vast, watchful gaze, breathing the air provided by Shu. Their lives were a vibrant tapestry, woven from the distant yet vital connection of sky and earth. But life, as Thoth had prophesied, was inextricably linked with death. When a mortal creature's journey ended, its body returned to Geb, becoming one with the earth once more, enriching the soil for new life to emerge. Yet its spirit, its essence, would rise towards Nut. She, the great mother of the heavens with her starry cloak, would lovingly receive these souls, guiding them through the night sky, protecting them until their rebirth, a promise of eternal renewal. In this profound cycle, life emerged from Geb, blossomed under Nut, and returned to Geb, while the spirit found solace and transition in Nut. It was the eternal dance, a magnificent testament to the interconnectedness of all things, the balance between genesis and demise, a sacred ebb and flow orchestrated by the divine separation. And so the universe found its balance, a magnificent symphony orchestrated by the very act of separation. Nut, the sky, forever arched in a graceful, protective curve above. Geb, the earth, lay steadfast and fertile below, his body the foundation of all existence. Between them, Shu, the air, stood eternally, his mighty arms outstretched, a constant, vital breath, holding the heavens aloft, creating the necessary space for life to thrive and time to flow. This cosmic structure, born from profound love and agonizing separation, was the ultimate embodiment of Mad, the principle of truth, order, balance, and harmony. The daily journey of Ra across Nut's body, the nightly dance of the moon and stars, the cyclical turning of the seasons, the perennial dance of life and death, all these were the manifestations of this divine order. Geb and Nut, though physically sundered, remained spiritually intertwined. Her tears nourished him, his essence sustained her creations. Their eternal longing became the very rhythm of the cosmos, a powerful testament that even in division, a deeper, more expansive unity could be forged. The universe was not merely created. It was ordered, balanced, and eternally maintained by the sacred, unchanging embrace of cosmic law, born from the sundering of the primordial lovers. The silence of the first creation had been broken, replaced by the grand, eternal symphony of the cosmos. The aching separation of Geb and Nut, once a tragedy, had blossomed into the very fabric of existence, a testament to the profound truth that order often emerges from the crucible of change and sorrow. Their initial, boundless love, though physically rent, had transcended its primordial form, becoming the unseen, unshakable bond that permeated all things. Nut, the celestial vault, continued her perpetual watch, her starry body a testament to endless beauty and the cycles of cosmic return. Geb, the verdant earth, remained the steadfast provider, the source of life and the ultimate resting place, bearing the world's weight with quiet dignity. And Shu, the eternal breath, continued his silent, monumental vigil, the unwavering pillar of space, ensuring the delicate balance that made all creation possible. The cosmic law of man, once a dormant whisper, now resonated through every dawn and dusk, every burgeoning seed and every fading leaf. The sun's journey, the moon's serene traverse, the endless flow of the Nile, the whisper of the wind through reeds all spoke of an immutable order, a sacred harmony. The tears of the gods had become the waters of life, their anguish the fertile ground for new beginnings. And so, the universe unfurled, a vibrant, living tapestry where separation begat balance, where sorrow paved the way for profound renewal, and where the enduring love between the sky and the earth, though forever distant, remained the silent, powerful heartbeat of eternal time.